And welcome to our latest edition of Bengals Nation. Here at the Kroger OTR Eatery, we are sponsored by Rally House. Gary Miller and Chris Rankel with you. And last week, our own Vonn Bell doubled as a special guest coming off those 2 picks against the Dolphins. Now he and Mike Hilton go back to their regular roles, and they brought along first-round draft pick Dax Hill. Let's get it over to Chris Rankel now for our dynamic duo.
Vonn, second straight week, coming up with a pick. Give him a round of applause. 3 in 2 weeks, that's a pretty good number. Take us through the interception. What came to you?
Oh, man, we was just in the call, and we was in the call like Luke called it, and I saw the ball in the air. They tried to run a dope move on me, and just made the play on the ball in the air. So whenever it's in the air, we always preach in the room, it's got to be ours. So just came back for the team and put the team in a great field position and get the ball back for them.
We talk so much about the Ravens offense and, one of the top scoring offenses, all the dynamic playmakers they have. You guys held them in check most of the night. How'd you do it?
Just trusting each other, trusting the scheme that Lou put for that week, knowing we had to go out there and execute to a T, especially with the type of offense they run. They do a lot of stuff to mess with your eyes. So it was just us communicating pre-snap and really locking in on our keys.
Yeah, especially throughout the week, they do so many motions. And just really trusting the guy next to you that he's going to do his job and he's going to be in the right position. And like you said, talking pre-snap and post-snap, especially with the DBs, letting each other know they're there for each other and calling each other off on if shoving like coverages and stuff like that down the field. So that was a huge, huge thing that we going into that week.
Going to New Orleans this weekend. Vonn, you spent a little time down there. What's it going to be like to go back to the Superdome, and Super Bowl hopefully at some point, but Superdome first? And what can you tell these guys about playing in the Superdome?
It's always a great opportunity going back. They gave me the opportunity. They drafted me out of college, and you want to show your growth and really showing how you strive throughout the league. So they've been watching for sure, but it's always a great opportunity. Like I said, go out there with my guys and just going to war, and just having fun and just flying around making plays. But I think it's gonna be an electric environment like it always is, and so it's gonna be fun for sure.
I got to ask you guys, last week it was Lamar Jackson. This week it's Taysom Hill. He's one of the more unique guys. He's playing high school ball in the NFL. Have you ever seen anybody with that kind of skill set that they can literally do everything?
No, not too much. People don't realize he probably plays maybe 20, 25 snaps, but he's just real productive. He's a guy that they look to get the ball into his hands and let him be the playmaker he is. So we know we're going to have some packages around for him, and we got to take advantage when we have opportunity.
Like Mike said, very productive player. Man, he's the ultimate football player to me because he's going down on special teams. He can run the ball on offense. He can throw the pass, and he also go block for you. So he's all of that in one. So it's going to be a great task and a great challenge for us. So we can't wait for it.
All right, let's send it over to Gary Miller, who has the head coach, Zac Taylor.
You had, another drive this year where you went 8 plays and took up 8 minutes of time. Ran 17 plays, I think, against Dallas. There's pros and cons to those long drives, though, right? Especially in the second half when you're trying to catch up to them.
Well, it's good. It gives your defense a rest, gives them a chance to get on the sidelines and recuperate and have a lot of energy when they come back out. Obviously, you want to finish with 7 points or 3 points at the minimum, and we finished with a 0. So that's the hard part of that, is to have such a great drive and then come away with nothing is the difficult part of handling that.
Do you brainstorm with Lou Anarumo at all about, because he's a defensive, I don't want to, maybe he's a genius into some of the things he did. They had so many different looks that they presented to the Ravens in that game Sunday. But do you say, hey, Lou, what are these guys trying to do to us, and take some of his advice?
We always talk about scheme, the different ways to attack, different coverages and pressures, and same thing with him, coming to Brian and I and asking about some of the pressures they're going to present, how it stresses the offense. So there's a lot of really good communication that happens, and we learn all the time from each other.
Lots more to get to with Zach as we talk about how to contain Taysom Hill. And it's our latest edition of Bengals Nation 101 as Coach details the strategy behind the back shoulder pass.
Faux Rocks Locks, sponsored by Hawksworth.
It's time for our Faux Rock Locks, which rhymes, and so does shock. I won last week. I got the Bills
Miracles
right.
happen,
I'm
folks.
going for
They
a
do happen.
2-game win streak. I'm going to take the Niners to win at Atlanta, and that should be easy.
That should be
But that's
easy.
what they say every week.
But you know how it is. I thought it was easy last week.
You had the Seahawks and
at the
Saints.
Seahawks and the Saints and came up with a goose egg. But I'm taking the Vikings to beat the Dolphins, given 3.5. Or the Vikings are getting 3.5 at the Dolphins. I'm taking the Vikings.
And Miami's on their third quarterback
Yeah, they
probably
are.
in that game.
Yeah, I am going, don't hate me here, folks. Baltimore at the New York Giants. Giants are 4-1.
No, you're not.
I'm picking Baltimore because I'm not convinced the Giants are all that good. They're playing well under their first-year head coach, Brian Daboll. I think Baltimore's going to take them and hand them their second loss of the season. Don't hate me, Faux Rock.
That's okay. I'm going to come
I
out of
think the
retirement.
Bengals beat them up, and they're going to be all worn out. But let's hope you're wrong.
I got one hit left in me.
Getting Defensive, sponsored by Blake Maislin.
We got a special guest today, man, for all you Michigan fans out there.
Oh, easy.
We gonna give a loud welcome to first round pick Dax Hill.
There we go. Come on, Rook. Come on, Rook. There we go. Yeah. What's good, brother? How you doing? Yeah. Welcome, Dax, man. Getting defensive. Welcome.
Defensive. Appreciate y'all for having me.
Oh yeah, appreciate you coming out, man.
Man, I'll pop it off.
Go ahead.
You're 5 games in your rookie season, man. Just explain how it's been, how you expect it to grow.
Man, it's been really just an exciting process, just coming in, rookie mini camp and, training camp. It's been, a long process, but enjoying every opportunity that I've, had so far. So, just being on the sideline with you guys every week in and week out. I just keep learning, from you guys, seeing you guys, how you guys prepare every week, and so it's been fun so far. So I'm just excited for the rest of the season.
For sure. Hey, is there a different speed from college to the NFL?
Not really. I would say rookie, the first few games of the preseason. I know that's not the real season, but it was just kind of the same type of pace. I would say, not too much of a difference, and I feel like being at a good school like Michigan, as opposed to Ohio State,
Easy.
I feel like they have me well prepared. So it's just been a good transition so far.
Yeah, speaking of a little Michigan-Ohio State rivalry, how many times did you lose to Ohio State?
I would say once, but I wouldn't even really count that because we was up the first half and then they just pulled away second half. It's 4 quarters, but
That's my record.
they kind of cheated us, to be honest. The rest.
Vonn, what's your record?
3-0.
3-0, undefeated?
Undefeated. Got all my gold pants.
I'm 1-1, really 2-0, but if COVID didn't happen, it really been 2-1. So
Yeah, woulda, shoulda,
feel me?
coulda. Hey, so tell everybody about the rookie duties and all that. What goes on with the plane ride and away games?
We finna be late every away game trying to get them food.
You gotta get the chicken.
It's like they trying to get us fined and then allow us to miss the flight. It's like, how does that work? It's
We will stop the flight. I promise you, we will stop the flight.
Y'all ain't gonna miss it, that's
they
for
got
sure.
us bringing snacks every day. I'm on a budget. It's like, I don't know what they got going.
And it be the bad snacks too. We in meeting rooms
We
eating
being
candy.
smart. We're not gonna waste money on those snacks every week.
Why?
It's in your budget.
I'm messing with y'all. I got y'all. It's in the budget.
It's in the budget.
The snack category.
Yeah, it's a tax write-off.
Ain't no tax write-off.
It's for work.
For work.
Man, well, I got one more question. Just explain, being in the room with me, Vonn, Jesse, guys that's been around a long time, just what have you learned just being around this, just hearing us how we talk and just go about business?
Really just being a student of the game. I see you guys every day in terms of just, taking notes and being well prepared. I would say going into games, that's something I feel like I need to, sharpen, my knife, in terms of just being more prepared going into a game. Talent's going to be there. We all have talent, but, like I said, being a student of the game and just knowing what you're going to get every day and taking, every day, leading up to the game very seriously. So that's one thing I've noticed, just, being in the same room with you guys.
For sure. I got one more question, though. Man, how does it feel playing against your brother, though, in the league now, in the division?
That was the first time ever?
First time he ain't played though, but it was crazy. It was crazy. It's just a surreal feeling. It's like, man, I really grew up with you. Now it's like, man, I'm on the opposite side of the sideline with you. So it's just like.
There's no point shaving this.
Huh?
There's no point shaving this. Terrence.
Nah. Nah. We all good, man.
I hope y'all jersey swap.
Oh yeah, we did for sure.
Okay.
Got the black jersey for sure.
Can't have mama
We
Hill
had to
mad
flick
at
it
y'all.
up. We had to flick it up.
Cannot have y'all mama mad at y'all for not jersey swap.
You already know my mom was on me about that. She walking through the whole interview like, oh, what's up? We got beef.
Sorry for the interruption, I guess.
It happens.
But nah, Dax, man, we appreciate you coming on, getting defensive, man. We respect what you do. We respect how you just go about business, man, and you're not your average rookie, that's for sure.
Appreciate
you, man. Appreciate you, man. Keep going. Keep going.
For sure.
Earning Your Stripes, sponsored by Rally House.
You've had this situation before where you have multiple quarterbacks to prepare for who do much different things. Now, Jameis Winston was a possibility. He didn't play last week. Could play against you guys. Taysom Hill was unbelievable. He's listed as a tight end, and he accounts for 4 touchdowns. And you obviously are very familiar with Andy Dalton. How do you juggle preparing for 3 different guys?
Yeah, you got to be ready for the different packages they can present. We may not know until Sunday who the starter is and who's going to get most of the snaps, and that's part of the job that Lou and his staff have to do, is creating a plan that can try to limit the offense when you're not exactly sure who's going to be pulling the trigger, and that can be a tough task.
Does having just played Lamar Jackson prepare you for the kind of things that Hill does?
It could, but again, you don't always know when he's going to be playing quarterback. He can sub in the game as a tight end, and you got to have calls ready that can adjust if he is at the quarterback position. So. I think they do a really nice job utilizing him in a lot of different ways to not give away exactly when he's going to be playing the role that he can potentially play.
I always like to use your expertise for what we call Bengals Nation 101 for terms that are used commonly in football. A back shoulder pass. It's another one that sounds incongruent. It's like, why would you want to throw it to his back shoulder? Isn't that a bad pass? But kind of the strategy of that and why it has become a weapon for you guys as well.
Well, when you throw a lot of go routes, the corners are taught to play high on top of you and squeeze you to the boundaries and cut you off to where you can't throw it down the field without it being incomplete. And so then you got to have the next part of the evolution of the go route is the quarterback and the receiver being on the same page, that when you feel the defender over the top taking away the downfield, you got to snap your eyes around and expect that ball to be thrown right at the back of your helmet. And so the DB can't make a play. He's waiting on the ball to come down the field, and now all of a sudden you torque and the ball's on your back shoulder. So really, it's at the back of your helmet, and then you adjust, and it looks like it's cut on the back of the helmet, the shoulders.
Sean Payton's a very successful coach. People expect him to. He's doing a lot of analyzing of coaching. He's coaching every team this year as an analyst. The difference between him and Dennis Allen, who was his defensive coordinator, who now takes over, is more defensive-minded when you face the Saints team.
Well, the team looks similar because you see the same defense from my perspective that Dennis has been running for the last couple of years. It's one of the more underrated defenses in the league over the last 5 years. They've done a really good job. I thought they took a huge step in 2018. They became really an elite defense, and I feel like they haven't skipped a beat over the last 5 years. And so they present a tough challenge. Darren Rizzi is one of the best special teams coordinators in the NFL. He'll have those guys ready. And then Pete Carmichael's been there a long time as the offensive coordinator. Now Sean's just not there anymore. But so the system remains there in place. The same coordinator's been there for a number of years, the same offensive staff. Jameis was there last year when Sean was there. So you see a lot of similar stuff that we've seen over the last couple of years.
The head coach takes to his Telestrator, featuring lots of Mike Thomas and Vonn.
Coach Taylor's Breakdown, sponsored by EverDry.
So the first one here, it's 1st and 15. They decided to pressure us. And Mike Thomas does a great job pushing off. This is meant to look like 4 verticals to start to get them all to retreat like they're doing. They're playing single high man coverage. So Mike T does a great job getting 1 yard to the inside edge of the numbers for a single high, pushing his defender off. So now he can slam on the brakes there and does a great job making the first guy miss, turning this thing into an explosive play on 1st and 15. So Really good play there by Mike, making the most when his number was called there. Good throw by Burrow. Good protection up front. The next one here is a touchdown play we had. So if we're going to get single high, you had a hitch, and you had an inside fade to Jamar and TB. If you get too high, you're going to get Hayden on the basic route, and you're going to get Mike T on a little stutter post route over the top. So if it's too high, we're reading this safety right now. And there's been clips on tape where he's clamped down on that basic, and we're going to take a shot over the top on the post. In this case, he played really deep, and so now Joe just waited for Hayden to clear binds here and delivered a great throw. Great protection up front here. If you watch these guys up front, that's a great pocket for Burrow. Be able to slide, find a throwing lane. You can see him throwing right off binds there to Hayden as he shows up, and then Hayden fighting through some contact there and finding a way into the end zone. So that was big. We kind of started slow as a unit, and that drive right there got us fired up and got us right back in the game at 10-7. And then you look at the 2-minute drive right before the half. So we put ourselves in a tough spot with the 3rd and 10. We had 2 batted balls to start the drive. Chase is told he's got an MOR, mandatory outside release. You cannot block that corner. It'll be offensive pass interference. So he's doing everything he can to outside release that corner, draw his attention out of there. Great job by him. That's as effective at any block as he could have had. And the linemen do a good job getting out in front in space, starting with Cordell here, Ted coming to clean it up, and Samaje just getting north and south, right down the runway there and the numbers, and getting us a key first down there to get the drive started in 2 minutes. Led to 3 points. Then you look at the defensive side of things. You can see one-on-one, one-on-one, one-on-one. We got a post help here back in the middle. You can see these guys up front do a really good job flushing Lamar out of the pocket and pursuing, so he's got to get that ball out. So the key is, for guys like Logan to just full speed, make him feel you. So he's got to get rid of the ball, and you can see all the pursuit there. You can see the tight coverage. Really good job by Hubbard, trying to collapse the pocket here and making him move. They're running like a pylon concept. They're trying to run a pylon in a deep cross, and then they get at the back on a three-level deal. They're trying to flood the zone, and he sails the ball a little bit into a Tampa 2 look, and Vonn's right there to make him pay like he has been the last couple weeks. So really good job, Vonn being in position. Really good job catching the ones that throw to you. It's easier said than done sometimes. And that was a big play. We're down 10-0. They were going down. They're getting scoring territory and kick a long field goal potentially. And we were able to go score a touchdown on the next drive because of that turnover.
Still to come on Bengals Nation, we check back in with Zac Taylor as he goes inside the Saints and what it's going to take to get a win.
This is my glory.
Chris's Star Matchup, sponsored by Gold Star.
The matchup this week is a truly unique one because there aren't many players like Taysom Hill in the NFL today, and that's going to be the matchup that the Bengals have to watch out for. You could say Taysom Hill is a quarterback, he's a running back, he does a little bit of everything. The reigning NFC Offensive Player of the Week had 4 touchdowns last game against the Seahawks, 3 of them rushing, 1 of them passing. Just about everywhere that he lines up, he is a threat for a big play, and the Bengals defense needs to be aware of where he's lined up just about every snap.
Yeah, you got a guy back there that's an explosive runner, but again, he's got the background throwing the ball too, and so you got to treat that different than you would just a traditional Wildcat because he can play quarterback, and then he can go in the game and play tight end, and they can utilize him a lot of different ways that way. He can block in the run game, he can run routes, he can throw.
Keys to the Game, sponsored by Kia.
What's it going to take for you to dictate to the team as opposed to their defense dictating to you guys?
Yeah, we got to find a way to start with points on the board like we did the last 2 weeks before this Baltimore game early and play with the lead, try to take the crowd out of the game, give the defense a lead to play with so they can pin their ears back and create turnovers and continue to build on that lead. So, again, that's been a good recipe for us in our 2 wins, and it hasn't been in our 3 losses, so we got to get back to that.
We're with you every Saturday night throughout the season with the latest edition of Bengals Nation at 11:35. And the game is on its traditional home of Local 12. Kickoff Sunday at 1.
What was dealing with Jim Harbaugh like?
He's his own guy. He's a good coach. Definitely knows what he's talking about. But, outside, he's just, to himself, a family man. So he's a good overall guy.
You don't have to suck up to him anymore. You're not playing for him.
I don't know where this is going. Like, you can see this.
There's got to be some crazy stuff about Coach.
He's not Ryan Day.
Buckeyes,
go Bucks.
What was the wackiest thing about Coach Harbaugh, Mr. Khaki?
His khaki pants and the hat.
Khaki pants for sure. That's a guarantee every Saturday with the cleats.
Closet full. He had a closet full.
Closet full. The same color, same type of pants. Oh, no, that's just Coach Harbaugh. I don't know.
Dax, coming from Tulsa, tell us a little bit about
the recruiting process. We had mentioned your brother, Justice. He went to Oklahoma State. I know OU wanted you bad in Norman, which is Zac Taylor's hometown. How did you end up at Michigan, and what was the recruiting process like? You were coveted.
Yeah, it was really, a lot going on. Started, I would say, early my sophomore year. That's when I started to get more offers, and it was really just a lot going on because I was trying to focus on school and then, in the season. So then I had all, the offers and talking to coaches on the daily. It was kind of tough to process, and I would say throughout my senior year, I kind of already knew where I wanted to go. Like you said, Michigan, between Michigan and Alabama, but Michigan kind of led the way just in terms of, the coaches, what they had to present outside of football, I would say, and that's what kind of led me to Michigan.
All right, for the veterans up here, what did you think the first time you saw Dax on the practice field, and what stands out most about him?
Explosive. His speed, the way he can change direction, just seeing how athletic he really is, you know what I mean? He's a guy, like I said, he gets out his breaks real well and just explodes to the football.
Yeah, like you said, his explosion, when he threw a 9-ball to Chase and he came out the post, I said, man, he is stepping. And I said, boy.
What was that 40 at the combine?
4.3, 4.38, something like that, 4.37, something like that.
Rolling.
Wow. You guys couldn't touch that, right?
I could right now.
I'm not. I'm a 4.5 type of guy. But I'm
I'm
quicker
a
than I am fast.
You see some 4.6 right?
I'm a Ferrari.
You said what?
I'm a Ferrari.
Ferrari.
First round pick, rookie. Did you make him sing his school song?
Yeah,
What did you guys do to indoctrinate Dax Hill?
Yeah, on the rookie talent show, he got booed off.
Definitely
He didn't give me no chance, though. Like,
he didn't know the words.
I knew the
And
words.
he pulled it up on the computer. So he could have just read it out, but
Millennial.
he tried
I
to
knew
show
the
out,
words.
stand in front of everybody.
I knew the words.
Not
It
look
was
at the
just
computer and blew it.
They didn't give me no shot, so they just killed my confidence.
He had 2 chances in the defensive room and
But I
the
was
team
doing pretty
room.
good in the defensive room. They just wasn't vibing with me, so it was just like, bro.
We need more energy.
It was after a long practice, 3-hour practice.
Another chance now?
I was gonna say we can make this happen right now.
I just had practice.
People want to hear you sing.
I just had practice. I'm here for an interview to
Rookie
talk.
duties.
Rookie duty. Nobody said nothing.
We'll have to save that for an upcoming episode of Bengals Nation. But we do have one thing, not necessarily to sing, but to shout out as we do at the end of every Bengals Nation, and it is...
Who Dey?